These readings this morning are so fundamental, the foundation of Christ and Christianity. And so my place for just a few minutes is to kind of be sure you got the message and to condense it a little so that we can know what we're doing here, why we're Christians, where we're going, and why Christ is the center of it all. Well, it's Lent, and you know the word Lent means spring. And a lot of people have gardens. I have some. And in spring, right away, the crocuses are going to start to come up, and we're going to start to garden, and we're going to start to get rid of all the dead stuff around it and so on. And we do that so that it grows better. And my prayer, hope for you and me is that through these 40 days, we especially grow and blossom and come back to life like Christ on Easter Day. So to follow that, we get to give up a few things. I know my dad, he was very, very disciplined. He gave up smoking during Lent. He could do that. That's very hard. Just quit now and then start again. I always wished he wouldn't start again, but he did. There was a kid in our class at the seminary who took seriously Lent very, very much. And by Holy Week, we just hoped that he wouldn't have to go to the hospital because he kept starving himself. And, we were sort of in competition down there. I think he's doing more than I am. And I know I ate a Snickers bar, and I thought I am certainly going straight to hell. So those were the days when we looked at ourselves. But Lent is not what we give up. It is what Jesus gave up, his very life. And so we go to the first book of the Bible for this story about God's plan for man. After all, God is in need of nothing. But he willed that there would be people made like him who could think, who could will, who could love. And that was his first plan, that I will create man to our image and likeness, and all I want him to do is love me. And in order to love, you have to be free. You have to be free. I can't force you to love, then it doesn't count. And so God had to make us free. And so that's what he did in the story of Adam and Eve. He said, you can eat whatever you want, but don't do that. And then, you'll show me that you obey me, you respect me, you love me. And as you know, Satan got his way in there and destroyed the whole thing. And Adam and Eve fell into sin, fell away from God. They said no to God. And God was very disappointed in them. But on Holy Saturday night, we call this event Felix Culpa, happy fault. We're sort of glad that the first plan of God didn't work because he had a better plan, and that was that he would send his own son as a second Adam and do it right. And then we would be incorporated into him through our baptism into his body, and then we would be the people of God, and we had been purchased by the life, the blood, and the resurrection of Jesus. It is almost impossible to believe that God would love us so much. God doesn't love us, but he acts as though he actually needs us. And so we're not working against God. God is reaching out to pick every one of us up like you pick up your little baby or your little child and hold him to your breast and say, oh, I love you and I never want you to get away. That's God's love for us. And so the first, according to John Milton, the first event was Paradise Lost. Remember, you probably read that sometime. Paradise Lost. And then the second one, because Christ comes along, he says, I'm going to do it right. And he is the second Adam, and we begin Paradise Found. We're all going back to where we started eventually, and it's all because of Christ. There is a kind of conversation written about the Trinity when they were deciding, what will we do to get man back? And the second person, Jesus, said, I'll go. Let me go. I'll go. And so he did. He became one of us, and we have the God-man, Jesus Christ. I want to be sure that you get the connection, though. So I'm going to read again what was read so well about Paul, so that we get the theology of it. The theology is this. St. Paul says, just as through one transgression, Adam, condemnation came upon all people, so through one righteous act, Christ, acquittal and life came to all. For just as through disobedience of the one man, the many were made sinners, you and I, so through the obedience of the one, the many will be made righteous. That is the heart of our story about why we needed a Savior, why Christ said, I'll show you, I'll come and get you, and that will be better than my first plan. And so you know that what we're doing for 40 days in particular is dwelling on the way he loved us, the things he taught us, to be like him, and really to believe how precious we are to him, that we were purchased by the blood of Christ. We were redeemed. He is our Messiah. Well, I'm almost finished. So we have 40 days of Lent to dwell again on Christ, the price he paid for our salvation, but above all, not the price he paid, but how much he loves you and me. You can't say it enough. You can't believe it strongly enough. You can't live by it well enough. I am a child of God, and Abba is my Father, and he loves me. Whatever other bad theology you ever got, throw it out along with the weeds and so on in springtime. Get rid of that and dwell again and again on how God does love you. Now and then someone sort of says, they have the audacity to say to you or me, hey, brother, are you saved? And we sort of, why would you ask? How mean of you to ask. That they want this kind of theology where I'm saved and you're not. That's not his way. He came to save us all, and we are saved. So when some zealot comes up to you and he says, hey, brother, are you saved? You say, you damn right I am. I'm saved. I am saved by the blood of Christ. I didn't do it for myself, but I am saved by the blood of Christ. I think I'm ready for television, don't you? So, that's all, folks. That's all I want to tell you.